now because we asked what should be the number one priority for the Golden State Warriors this offseason. And there's a bevy of options here. Is it Klay Thompson? Is he priority number one? What to do with Klay? Is it Andrew Wiggins? And what to do with him? Is it Kuminga and Moody? And the youngsters and the trade chips that they could probably, or the players that they could possibly bring in? Is it Stephen Curry? Is it Dre? What is the number one priority for the Golden State Warriors this offseason? You said it's Klay Thompson, Spadoni.
I think
it's hard to disagree with that.
I think it's Klay Thompson because what he has meant to this organization, and you need to get a grip on what you are trying to do in the future. And if that future has Klay Thompson in it, you better get it done. If it doesn't, you got to let him know so he can start talking to somewhere else. That's just good business. That's called being a good person. And I think that's what Joe Lacob does with the Golden State Warriors. That is who he is at his core. He isn't a shrewd businessman, yes, but he's also a romantic when it comes to this team and this franchise and what a guy like Klay Thompson has meant and what he's meant to Stephen Curry, who's also your face. You want to keep Stephen Curry happy. Yeah. You don't want to do anything and mess around with Klay Thompson's negotiations.
And by the way, Steph and Andre Iguodala and Klay Thompson just became owners of this soccer team. I will pull it up in just a second here, but you know what? Let's go to the lines. We got the lines.
Let's do that.
Let's go. Let's start off with our main. I haven't talked to him in a while. My boy Shaka in Berkeley. Shaka, what's happening, man? Good morning to you, brother.
What's up, big time? How you doing, man?
I can't complain, Shaka. Absolutely,
Two of my favorite guys.
Oh, what's up, Shaka?
Hey, man, I think Klay has earned a chance to go out on his own if he wants to get a reduced role and stay with the team. We could do that. If he wants to go out and get some money before it's real, he has earned the right to do that. But Wiggins is another thing. I think that he had 2 breaks in 2 years in a row. So that's I think it's time for us to move off him. I would be greatly if we could get the guy Ingram from New Orleans and a trade for him. That would be great because he's a tough guy. He's a dog. He's real tough. And that could let Draymond do his defensive stuff. And later on in his career, it could be a defensive stopper like Oakley. I see Draymond in that position.
Shaka, where are you at right now? Shaka, where are you? At a construction site? What are you doing?
Seattle Airport.
Oh, Seattle Airport. There you go.
Flying out of Seattle. What you doing up in Seattle, big dog? You be all over the world, man.
Man, I ain't rich like y'all. I got to catch a plane from Houston to Seattle to get back to San Francisco.
Gotta connect.
Hey, Shaka, we all balling on the budget, man. We balling on the budget. It's all good.
Hey, Bate, you my favorite, man. I am so proud of you, man. I am so proud of you.
I appreciate you, Shaka. Good to hear your voice, brother. Good. So he's saying Andrew Wiggins. Figure out what to do with Andrew Wiggins. That's priority number one.
Okay.
Let's go to Krishna in Cupertino. Krishna, what is the number one priority for the Golden State Warriors this offseason, or what should it be?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I think it's got to be Steve Kerr figuring out our identity on offense and defense, how we're going to play, how we got to adapt, because something's got to change. I think that's going to affect the rest of the roster, like whether we bring back Klay as a 2 or a 6th man or the Wiggins, Kuminga. Yeah, we got to figure out how we're going to adapt. I think part of the big issue, like earlier in the season, was Kerr just kept trying to go back to 2022, kept trying to run plays, things that worked for us in the last championship. And, I think we got to figure out what's next. So I think that's got to be our number one priority.
No doubt. Hey, Jason Messler, you're on it on YouTube. He said Ponte thought it was a BPA on the burner.
I thought it was, too.
Yeah, I mean, we got 2 fake BPA. I wouldn't surprise me if BPA tried to call the show once an hour.
Tiago.
Him and Milton in Burlingame.
Milton.
And you guys trying to make him the roaster of the year. That was not happening on my watch.
No, he didn't. The amount of drops I got from the guy.
No, he didn't. Oh, by the way, speaking of BPA.
Tweeted you?
He tweeted at both of us.
We're streaming live on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, he tweeted at both of us.
Okay, let me pull it up. I've been trying to stay off the phone during this.
So here you go, BPA, 23 minutes ago. The Magic ain't paying Klay like a star because he isn't one. And then 20 minutes ago, getting a number 2 trumps all other things. That's from BPA. If he wants to call in, give us his thoughts. Call in Friday, BPA.
Love you, Brian.
Ramani in San Jose. Ramani in San Jose, what's happening? Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. What's up, man?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So my priority would be, I initially thought Wiggins followed by Klay, but after listening to your comments about Klay's contributions and what he's done for the organization. It's a tie for me, Wiggins and Clay. And I think, hopefully Lacob would be a bit more generous this year. This would be the last hurrah for this group of Warriors. So what I would have is, I'm willing to give up on Chris and maybe even trade Kuminga. I think one of your earlier shows you mentioned how somebody has got to get the ball to be able to score and be motivated. I think Wiggins is probably in that category. So hopefully if Kuminga not in the lineup, Wiggins will probably get the ball more often. He'll be a lot better. I'm looking at Curry, Draymond, Wiggins, along with Clay possibly, and maybe one of the youngsters, Pajemski or anybody else as a fifth person. And if Clay doesn't perform well, you can always get him off the bench and he'll still be very good. And the defense will still look good, I think. Give them one last chance, one last hurrah. And hopefully, the Lacob will worry about it maybe next year in terms of, fixing up the salary caps and things like that.
Good call, Ramani. Hey, look, and there's a lot of fans like Ramani. Keeping the core together. Let's see this thing. Let's ride it out. They don't want to see change. Change is hard. We see it here in radio. You change the lineup up in radio, you change the lineups, people for 2 months are going to be crying and bitching in the moment. Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? And then after a while, you stop hearing about it. But people don't like change.
We fear it.
This will be the biggest change in Warriors, man, probably in franchise history. Not having Clay, Steph, and Draymond, the most winningest trio. Like, look at what they've done as members of the Golden State Warriors. Like, this is a hard decision for DubNation. Look at what they've done as trios, all right? NBA championships, decade of dominance since 2014-15. They're first in rings, first in conference championships, first in regular season win percentage, first in playoff win percentage, first in points per game, first in field goal percentage. I mean, they've done some dynamic things, not to mention not losing a first-round series in the Western Conference or a series in the Western Conference until last season when they lost to the LA Lakers.
It's pretty incredible what they have accomplished here. And to me, it's so fascinating to hear other markets and other teams and compare it to this one because what is it, Bontaine? We've been talking about San Francisco as a sports market. We started off our show today listening to Brian Sabian, obviously former general manager of the San Francisco Giants, won 3 World Series. And he says this is a sports market on steroids. That was his quote yesterday with Steiny and Guru. He said this is a massive sports market. It has a lot of history and rich history. But 2 teams in particular, they get so sentimental about the past. And I'm talking about the fan bases of the San Francisco Giants and the Golden State Warriors.
See, I don't know about the Warriors.
You're not sure yet?
Because before Steph, Clay, and Dre,
but
we had nobody to get sentimental about.
Yeah.
But now we are. But now we're there.
We this is new.
It was the Sleepy Floyd game, and we believe.
Right, yeah. Giants fans have always had this when it comes to don't trade this guy, don't trade that guy. We love him. This is kind of new for Warrior fans because we haven't had the longevity from a lot of players. We haven't had a lot of long tenure players.
But now we're here, and a lot of the same fans for the Warriors are talking like the fans of the Giants when the writing was kind of on the wall for a lot of those guys, whether it was Lincecum, whether it was Bumgarner, and that was hard to, do you trade him? Do you not trade him and stuff like that? Do you let it ride there back in 2019? So you got to rip the Band-Aid off at some point with this crew.
Is now the time to rip the Band-Aid off?
It might be, but it's easier said than done.
Right.
It really is because you're putting up a guy like Mike Dunleavy. This is his second year, second off season.
You put him on a hot seat, right?
And you're going to be talking about, I think we got to move off of Klay Thompson. All right, well, you do that. How's it going to look next year? The young guys better be balling out, or then your job might be on the line potentially because you moved off of a fan favorite. And if Klay goes elsewhere and balls out for the Orlando Magic and they're a second or a conference finals team, then you're going to have some problems. Now, do I think that's going to happen? That sounds a little far-fetched, but you know what? Crazy things have been happening all around the league. Minnesota could win the title this year.
They could win the title.
I didn't think that was going to happen in my lifetime.
Yeah, they could win the title. They got a great shot. Let's go to Coach and Vallejo. I always love Coach's takes on the Golden State Warriors. Coach, for you, I know you're tapped in on everything with the Dubs. What should be the number one priority for the Warriors this offseason?
Okay, I got 2 points, and I'll address the first one. The number one priority, the Warriors' number one priority is change their mindset. They are playing with like a beeper stealing style, and the game now is iPhone 15, okay? All these guys All these guys are long, lean, the McDaniels and Joneses, and these guys, they're all Tyrese Halliburton clones. The Warriors need to go to that type of player. That's why Kuminga is so important. The league is full of Kumingas. These guys are playing way above the rim. I mean, it's just awesome. So they need that mindset. Number two, to make you both laugh, I want you to think about the movie The Five Heartbeats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and Eric Pascal.
Yeah.
Eric Pascal's part of that Villanova team with Hard and Brunson and Bridges. Just think of those guys leaving the Knicks parking lot, and Eric Pascal shows up in a Villanova uniform and da-da, what about me, fellas?
Why are you going to do that, Pascal, man? Why? I don't know if you've ever seen Five Heartbeats, Spinoni.
I have not. I'm looking at it right now,
you got him intoxicated and drunk and depressed and looking bad. Oh, don't do that to him, Coach.
Coming in on the tail end of a rhythm and blues singing group explosion, the Five Heartbeats rise and fall within the space of 7 years.
Yeah.
Along the way, the group deals with all manner of fame, fortune, distractions, jealousy, greed, too much womanizing, and drugs all take a toll.
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds great.
It sounds like another band, right? Whether it's rock and roll, hip hop,
That's
whatever.
everything.
It's usually how it happens.
What's the saying? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll? That's what it is for everything. Yeah.
Let's go to Jay in the city. Jay, what's happening? What is the Warriors' number one priority in the offseason? You still want to get in? 888-957-9570. We'll play the cuts for Brandon Kravitz in Orlando. But what should the Warriors?
I think you called him Lenny. It's Brandon Kravitz.
Did I call him Lenny earlier? I just said Brandon. No, I said Brandon. I said Brandon. Double check that. Recheck the tape. You heard Lenny. I said Brandon. Jay, what's happening?
What's up, y'all? I go with Klay Thompson, number one. We got to keep JK, Klay, Steph, Draymond, and then we got to get a long defender instead of like Dario Saric. We need somebody who can shoot and defend. This year we saw when we lost the games, we lost because of the defense. That's my take.
All right, that's your take. Look, I'm seeing some interesting stuff there. Matthew on YouTube. LaMelo Ball doesn't sound so crazy right now. Towards the end of the year, Dubs had trouble getting the ball over half court. Not going to get any easier. Now, I'm out on LaMelo Ball, but Matthew, to your point about getting the ball over half court, when teams do press the Warriors, they have a tough time getting into their offense. And you get a team like you're watching Minnesota right now. Look how difficult it is for Denver, not only to get the ball past half court, but getting a quality shot. They can't get any shots up, and the shot clock is winding down to 6, 5, 4. And a lot of that we saw with the Warriors against Sacramento in that play-in game. You just could not get any quality shots. They were getting suffocated. They were getting pressed full court. What does that tell me? You need athleticism. You need some more ball handlers. You need some more playmakers.
And the deficiencies of a Nikola Jokic are the lack of athleticism. He's a very big guy, but he's very slow and burly. And as much as we love that, because he's an elite passer and he can get shots when he's close to the rim, they force that lack of athleticism against him in these situations because of how big and strong and long they are in Minnesota. And you're seeing a lot of deficiencies right now, the Joker and Jamal Murray, and it's been tough for them. And for the Golden State Warriors, for a team that's already small, you'd see that against a team like Minnesota. So, yes, to your point, you got to get big.
By the way, I'm just going to read this real quick.
Uh-oh.
As we line up the calls here, 888-957-9570.
You're scaring me with this cadence in which you're talking.
I'm scaring myself, and I'm scaring my stomach.
Oh, no.
Bonte Lubman, Shasky, whoever's there. This is Marvin from Izzy's Cheesesteaks.
Oh.
My truck is going to be at Spark Social today from 11:30 to 2. If you guys are hungry after the show this morning, swing through. I've been meaning to stop over to the studio to drop off, but I've been so busy. I'm a roast lifer. Carter?
Is that over near Chase, Spark Social?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little ways away from me. That sounds like a great opportunity, though. The missus, unfortunately, Bonte's in a 4.5-hour meeting. So right when I get home, I'm on dad duty with 2 children.
You're screwed.
We'll go to the park.
Marvin, you may or may not see me today. Shout out to Soda, SOTAweightloss.com, state of the yard.
Shout out cheesecakes and then shout out Soda. There you go.
Man.
Not Soda with the D.
Damn, it's been a while since